pull up the War Games Guide, the trailer, so we can see what we're talking about. And again, that I wasn't able to download it illegally. I'm really kind of apoplectic, frankly. Right? I mean, why? Because it shows you how much Doctor Who is on its arse. Right? That the few years ago, last year, people uploaded the Daleks. Oh, like it was there instantly, right? Absolutely instantly. Not so much anymore. Look.
5 escaped prisoners.
Yeah, 1 second. So the color palette is so spot on, right? It really is so incredibly spot on. There's so much good about this, right? There is so much good about this. I'm really bummed that the edit lets it down. And
prisoners traveling in a 1917 British army.
Like there's in this and the Daleks in color. This looks like it's filmed in black and white, filmed in color. The Daleks here. Let's pull up a little bit of that. Daleks not for a minute convinced me it was filmed in color. Hang on, I'm on the wrong thing. Doctor Who, the TARDIS. There you go. RTD2. Oh, unless it's over here. Daleks color. Daleks in color. I hate the intro. Like there, not one frame of this looks real.
Whatever? Oh, grandfather, look! It's a flower.
All that looks colorized. All this looks like it's
marked with a red cross.
Time travelers. I wonder.
Yeah, and it was actually very good that I hadn't seen it recently because I wasn't going, oh, wait, did they cut something out there? No, I really just got to watch it, as its own thing. But, yeah, as John Jordan said earlier, this is a dying art. I mean, this has got to be replaced by AI by this time next year. I mean, it's... and why they didn't do Tomb of the Cybermen, which is much more manageable for an hour and a half.
I've heard disquieting rumors of serious trouble here. Are they true?
You know what will happen?
Your appearance has changed before. It will change again.
Goodbye, Jamie.
Yeah, I wasn't so keen on the Time Lords having these superpowers here. The saying goodbye was heart-wrenching as it always is.
No! You can't do this to me! No!
So a lot of this really just seems a setup to be able to do the regeneration, right? Yeah, let's leave this up while I talk about it. So, okay, it starts off, and you've got I assume it's in here a 1970s globe, right? And in the in between shows on BBC, you used to have this spinning globe here. 1 second, let's see if I can find it. BBC 1970s globe. That's the 80s. That's not the 70s. That's like the 80s. Oh, that's the one I grew up. Oh, is this it? This is probably it. Yeah, download it. So this wasn't like this one. It was close to this. Is it downloading? Oh, there it comes. But it opens up quite nicely with the traditional BBC globe, and a voice is saying, now on BBC TV, Doctor Who, and the voice is actually the thing that lets it down. They should have had Nick Briggs do the voiceover, right? I mean, if you're going to do something that's like clearly out of, clearly not right? You should really kind of lean into it. And that didn't work here. Let me show you this. This video file. Creative. Downloads. There we are. Yeah, so it opens up with that, right? Which I thought was really quite nice. Maybe it's a 1960s one. And then that kind of melts into a picture of the Earth. Well, not a picture, a rotating thing of the Earth. right? Again, the new effects I think were really, generally speaking, pretty much spot on in this. So and then you go boom straight into the action. The TARDIS gets out. You see Jamie gets out of the TARDIS, steps in the watery mud. And I didn't really notice it, but like they made a pre-title sequence right before they got into the actual story. Now that worked quite well. I first noticed there being problems with the edit within the first 10 minutes, very, very sadly. Like, so again, I'm not really like so familiar with the plot, even though I watched it I don't know how many bloody times, but I'm not so familiar with the plot. The doctor meets Dr. Zoe and Jamie meet this woman driving an ambulance in the middle of like no man's land in World War, assuming it's World War II or World War One. And then they get this is the community. Then they get captured by Germans, and then without really explaining it, they overcome the Germans, and they're back at British HQ, and just like what, who, what, where? It just again very, very clunky, right? Very, very clunky, and it didn't convey a story, right? And I thought, oh, we're here already, and it does move at a I would say disjointed pace. You can kind of tell when they get to cliffhangers, and the bits I don't even know what they must have cut out, right? And look, I'm not really ranking on Ben Cook that much about it because maybe this is just an impossible job, right? Because maybe you can't make a coherent TV show, an hour and a half movie out of a 250 minutes. That's 6, 12, 18. 24. Yeah, well, you can't cut down 4 hours to an hour and a half, right? You just can't do it without and have it still seem workable, right? That's essentially the problem. So for me, I just the edit just didn't work at all. But that was the only thing that didn't work because the music was a little bit overbearing, but nowhere near as bad as it was with the Daleks. I mean, honestly, if they keep doing these long enough, they may end up coming up with something that was as good as the thing that they're redoing. So yeah, a lot of the good thing about this, again, if this gets new people to watch, which I doubt it will, right? I guess who's this for, right? I really don't understand who's this for. Like Doctor Who fans are fine with it being in black and white. I mean, I'm like again. This colorization, I'm fine with because it looks spot on, right? Absolutely spot on. And, the people working this really, really deserve a massive round of applause, right? But so in color, and the new effects work very well, but it's not watchable. This is a sad thing. And I really wish it were, wish it was. So then on top of that thing, you got somewhat many, I would say, obnoxious flourishes, which if it was watchable, I think would be fine. But it's not watchable, right? It's not watchable. Yeah, David Munner says, actually, who is this being made for and why? Well, the theory is to bring new people in to watch Doctor Who for a new generation. But Russell T Davies just doesn't know what he's bloody doing. If they wanted to get the TikTok generation in, they should take this and edit into 33-minute episodes, right? And then the disjointedness of it would be fine. You wouldn't bother you, right? And you'll see it on TikTok or wherever, and it'll be more organic to that format, right? And I think that's probably the way it would work. Like this again. As we're all saying, who's it for, right? Who's it for? It's kind of like when I saw the Watchmen movie. I was like, well, they put a lot of money into this. Who's it for other than me? Not many people, right? Not many people. So anyway, okay, fine. So you've got the basic inefficiency of the edit, and also it didn't really carry me through. I fell asleep. Like I genuinely, fell asleep. which is not a good sign, right? I remember when I was reviewing the Jodie episodes, like slapping myself to stay awake while watching because they were awful, right? So then you have the obnoxious flourishes on top of it, which it may annoy you, may not annoy you. They heavily intimate that the war chief is the master, and frankly, it'll be weird if he isn't the master, because he's so mastery in this entire thing, right? It will just be. I don't really mind that idea. So he's somebody from the Doctor's planet. He doesn't get named. And they clearly have it's the master, right? It looks exactly like the bloody master. Plus, it's played. Who's it? Philip Maddock does it. Do we have a picture of him in here? That's the war chief, not the war master, or the warlord. Hang on. Yeah. And so I doubt this isn't the real one, but they have like you hear him think to himself, right? So it will be weird if he's not the war master, right? If he's not the master. So spoiler warning. he ends up being killed by the war chief, and he's like slowly zapped to death. And then as they drag his body, one thing, when he also turns up, you get the master's music cue from the Pertwee era, I believe. Right, I didn't pick up on that. I just heard other people talk about it, and so you get the master's music cue, and then when they drag his body off, you hear a modern regeneration whoosh, like So they're heavily intimating it. For me, that really wasn't a problem whatsoever. Right, I think it'll be weird if it's not the master, but it wasn't a problem whatsoever. Much more of a problem was the ending, where where they spent a lot more time on the ending, which I think was like the main impetus of making this. Right, where they firstly the realization of Gallifreyan society and the war chiefs, it all looks great, right? It feels like you're watching something that comes out the same world as The Prisoner and James Bond. It really just gels together beautifully. And also having what's his name play the chief Time Lord, who comes up again and in Deadly Assassin. What's his name here? I can't remember. But he's very good, and I kind of like the Time Lords being like otherworldly. So here's the thing, though. Something that I always found is good, especially for Doctor Who, is the gaps, right? It's these little gaps in canon where you were like, you didn't see what happened between the second and third Doctor, right? Which allows you to your head canon to really breathe and grow and do stuff. So I find these things take away from that quite a lot. Although he is again. The good thing about this is you do get to feel what the performances of Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines, what's this guy's name? Let me pull up Doctor Who the War Games. I know it's somebody I know who it is, right? And when I read his name, I'm going, oh, right, German soldier. Philip Maddock, there you go, Philip Maddock. And he's great in this, right? He is absolutely fantastic in this. Is he the war chief or the war master? No, I'm just confused. Which one's which? I don't know. It might be, he might be. I don't know. But he feels very mastery. Anyway, you get the feeling of the absolute terror that this Patrick Troughton's second Doctor has of the Time Lords, as he's willing to ditch like Zoe and Jamie straight away. I gotta go. We call them, but we gotta go straight away, right? Bernard Horsfield says Peter Venkman's like, you're absolutely, that's it. Philip Maddock, right? It is Philip Maddock. So you have him be his attempted flight from the Time Lord, which is all very good, and like the Time Lords are very aloof. So they were reinvented I would say during the Third Doctor's era, then reinvented again during the Fourth Doctor's era as being less powerful, right? Which is fine by me, right? Which is absolutely fine. But when he's been presented with the different options of what he can look like, you see modern Doctors. He said, "Well, no, he's too old." Right, he never says when he was too fat, right? And he says, "David, well, he's too thin." And then you see Jodie go, "Well, that's too young," all right? And then it's Matt Smith's Doctor. It's just really pointless. I can replace that shot with the one of Matt. They have two shots of Matt Smith. It was easy enough to, but that was just like a really annoying, niggling moment, right? And then we get the regeneration, which we've already seen. Oh no! Also, you get a lot of the iconography. Is that the word of modern Gallifrey, the modern Citadel? Again, that doesn't bother me. If they want to be really cool, I would like to see a more 1960s realization of the Citadel. I thought that would have been cooler. But so the regeneration was done by somebody else, done by this fan, and I honestly think that this was the reason they did it here. So look here, we can look at these things. Confession Dial, that's the guy's name.
Your waste.
Yeah. So again, this was the stuff they did. I think was all original. This was from.
Refuse to take the decision. The decision will be taken for you.
No, I never said that. But
and again, the putting the picture of Jodie in it is just like screaming, "No, she's legitimate. She's legitimate." She's not. The more you scream, the less she is.
But I maintain I have the right to decide what I look like. It could be very important on the Earth.
This is the images from the Capaldi episode with the name of the Doctor, maybe.
The time has come for you to change your appearance, Doctor, and begin.
So this is better than it was on the was on the BBC edit.
I've never changed. You're so
So it's quite good when he gets like sucked into the screen, which is what it's done exactly the same way, just in color, right? And you do have like a nice little flash where you see all his companions.
Jamie, Zoe.
Yeah. You do, yeah. So that you have something similar to that, which I thought was very nice. And again, look, I find this stunning. I don't think it's AI, right? It's taken from like several different things and composited together. Right, but they, this is from Adventure in Time and Space.
No.
I wonder if they like filmed somebody and then face swapped it.
No.
Yeah, so they go about it much quicker. Like he's not awake in the BBC version. Yeah, it's more like this. Yeah, I think it starts with this. Here comes the regeneration. Yeah, I mean, like, again, generally works very well in my mind. And so the TARDIS, right? Yeah, this is just, they just take this wholesale. So this is from, I think, Planet the Daleks. He's laying down on Planet the Daleks, like he's laying flat. So they turned it at 90 degrees, so it looks like he's sitting up. Joe.
Where am I?
I think the console was whiter in the BBC version. I think.
Where am I?
So they kept that in as well. Like, all the clever stuff was done for them.
What?
And also, I think, again, I was too quick when I saw it. When the TARDIS was like spinning towards Earth, I think you saw the two Nestine orbs landing at the same time. Yeah, and then when they did the titles, it was a third Doctor's title sequence, and they had the things like introducing John Pertwee as the Doctor, right? Which is like modern Doctor Who does quite a lot. So let's have a look, see if people are talking about this. One second, check this article here. Share screen. There we go. Doink. Doctor Who should never be aimed squarely at the continuity-loving fan base. I tend to agree with you. It needs to be original, not weighed down by Easter eggs, fan-pleasing gestures. And I think it would have been fine if it was a competent piece of filmmaking, but it wasn't, right? Doctor Who completely writes the second Doctor Who Regeneration, all massive continuity changes explained. What continuity changes? Oh yeah, fine, yeah. So this is when he's given other people he could look like. Like, no, that one's too old. I'm like, it was kind of silly, frankly. It didn't really work at all. Modern Doctor is woven into Regeneration. Regeneration sequence begins when the Time Lords put the Doctor on trial. Like, yeah, we know, blah, 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 blah. Because he's known to Earth, it will be in there, fine. So, okay. Second Doctor gets a proper Regeneration sequence. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can. Let me just download this then. Doink. Let's see how they did it. But again, the best bit of editing in this was taken by somebody else. Very, very, very obviously. Oh, okay, fine. Somebody posted the whole thing online. Regen. Let's have a look. Video for. Again, I think that effect of the TARDIS is so great, right? Because it feels like the broken old wooden prop. Yeah. So this is a little flashback. This was really nice, right? And the colorization of it, fantastic. Doctor. Yeah. So again, much more traditional.
It's a very kind man. I shall never forget. Never.
Yeah, I like having the companions talk, the dialogue in the background. Yeah, look, it's white, right? In the fan edit is lime. I'm glad they changed that. Yeah, they redid that from the fan version. And again, I'm kind of sad that it takes away one of those, like, dark corners where you could get away with, put your own headcanon. Right here, I thought I saw two nesting orbs. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there they go. Great. I think that's somewhat improved. Yeah, so it's pretty much as we saw at this point. Lands. Nice, 80. Yeah, it ends on the new titles, which I think is kind of fun. Oh, well, there you go. So look, that's really the main thing people want to see from it. There you go. Second round takes place in the TARDIS when he's en route to Earth. The edit reworks the classic Troughton footage into a story. Somebody else did it. Confession Doll did it. Regeneration are modern. There's a glow. Yeah, the whole thing is to make it fit it into the modern view of Doctor Who, right? Regeneration is accompanied by a series of flashbacks on the second Doctor's life. It's reminiscent of Peter Davies of Regeneration, and also Tom Baker's Doctor. The TARDIS arrives on Earth. Whether War Games and Color something you liked or not, I love the touch where it ends, where the TARDIS display goes between 1970 and 1980. Not done by the Confession Doll, wasn't done by Ben Cook of the BBC. TARDIS is shown descending towards Earth in a very modern shot reminiscing of the opening of Rosie. As you see the nesting consciousness. The shot was from Inferno, not the typical generative AI you would be referring to is the type where you prompt in it creates it for you. This shot involved many hours of rotoscoping and tracking. The only AI present was the upscaling to improve the picture. Yeah, but look, rotoscoping now is done by AI very, very well. Like it's built in. That was it. Let's see what they got. They talk about the master being... No, I don't want to upgrade to premium. One of the biggest, most popular fan theories has basically just been confirmed. Well, it depends how canonical you take this, frankly. So the war chief has always been seen to be basically the master. I agree. Although, again, I'm just finishing watching Invasion of Time, and Rodan, who was like the temporary Gallifreyan Time Lady Companion, was essentially Romana as well, but they were different people. But yeah, he definitely fits as the mold of the master. Played by Robert Delgado, so sophisticated. He tended alliances with alien races and used them as pawns to betray them. Yeah, but the war chief seems to be very, very, very much on board with the warlord's plan. Right, that's pretty much describes the character of the war chief to a T. Appearing in 1990. So we all said it with him. Doctor's new release of War Games subtly confirms the fan theory. Okay, the Master's theme was loud. Yeah, they played the Master's theme as you see him, which I think was cool. Yeah, fine. Because I missed it. So let's see if we can pull it up, right? Second. Do I just download? Out Master's theme. And again, look, I mean, if you're somebody who really, really hates this sort of stuff, I don't know. I agree with the argument they're not taking away the classic from you, but there's a theory that they're going to. Oh, that's the Master's theme from Modern Who.
Run, Zoe! Run! Stop them! Stop them!
Emergency alert. This is the war chief to all guard posts. Close section areas. Detain 2 resistance members.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Yeah, very much. So this is the war chief space, and it's okay. But I don't. It's a bit Captain Scarlet, but it does fit into the whole ethos of the thing. Yeah. So yeah, that was very noticeable. Far more. So not so noticeable that I noticed it first time round, right? But very noticeable. So there you go. Is it recommend? It's a curio. Right, I'll be interested. I think I'm not going to go back to this, but I'm glad I've seen it. Right, it is for me somewhat of a curio. Some people, as I said, are spitting bullets about it, and cool, especially Error's favorite anti-Semite, Philip Morris. What an anti-Semite this guy is! Oh God, he's so vile. Right, he is so. His timeline is dripping with anti-Semitism. Right. Ben Williams, doesn't he do the illustrations for Doctor Who magazine sometimes? I think. I don't know. Anyway, Philip Morris said, the people that created the war games must be spinning in their graves. More desecration. I don't know. Honestly, I think Terrence Dicks will be really, really kind of chuffed for it to be colorized the way it is, and how good the colorization is. I don't see him being so like no, and Malcolm Hughes. I don't know. Look, I don't know what their personalities are like, but look, I think the attempt is a genuinely honest, earnest thing to get more people to watch your work. How many years later? It was from what, 69? Yeah, so 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. What, for 55 years old, trying to get you to watch 55 years old? I think they'll be thrilled. Right? They thought they were doing throwaway entertainment that nobody would ever look at again, right? You know, which is why they deleted a bunch and nobody gave a shit. That people were watching it 55 years later in the most modern way possible, I think they would have been happy with it, right? So Ben Williams replies, I think they're being more annoyed at the fact there are still lots of missing episodes from which you can't be fucked to find anymore. Yeah, look, I think Philip Morris is, he hasn't really produced many, right? It's mainly been Ian Levine that's got them back, as far as I understand. So check this out. This shows you what a shit Philip Morris is. You think and know nothing. Well, he probably thinks things. Let's be clear. I have material that I would never return to the BBC. It will never see the light of day again. I get great satisfaction knowing that these things will never be desecrated. No, you get great satisfaction from going, I have something that you don't. Right? That's what you get great satisfaction from. And it's just shitty. And it's just a genuinely shitty way to live. And not really surprising, because I think he's a generally quite shitty person. Right? Yeah, what can I tell you? Everything's the everything's the I was going to say, we got to look at this as well. Everything is the fits in place and is normal, right? Everything makes it. Oh, sorry, I just knocked my mouse off 1 second. I've got to pick it up. Drop on the floor as it's so far down. And again, there are just some annoying touches in it where I think a lot of fans just won't want to touch this again. Frankly, I don't know. Well, what's going to be better, this or Joy to the World? I don't know. Can we get more Zoe thumbnails, please? Absolutely tired of sign. Okay, no, we just got to think of the right context for them. Got no problem whatsoever. Share screen. What are we up to? Oh yeah, done. So War Games gets a surprising regeneration scene. So they read it. New faces said, "No, I just hate this. Well, he's too thin, and really, that one's too young. Oh no, that won't do at all. I mean, just like I would just take this shot and I would replace this shot with this shot, right? And it sounds like they're talking about the same person. But why are they all modern ones? Why can't they be like, I don't know? You could have a Peter Davison here instead. I don't know. It really is annoying, right? It's really genuinely annoying, and for a lot of people, that picture there will just mean nope, not going back to you ever again. Don't want to know. Don't want to hear. Ross Ava hints his next TV drama as he reveals his inspiration, being fired from Doctor Who. Yeah. Oh, Doctor Who's doing so well. He's just talking about his next job now. Yeah, that's always a sign he's doing well. There's no season 3. If there is no season 3. Helming Doctor Who is no easy feat, and helming and fucking up, it seems to be a bit easier. But Russell hinted that he's already had some ideas about future TV drama. Speaking at the most recent episode of the Talk Art podcast with hosts Russell Tovey and Robert Diamond, weren't they both in the War Between Land and Sea? Davis reflected on living in Manchester over the years and his previous hit series Queer as Folk. Oh, so he's returning to more gay men, essentially, his safe area. They revealed that he splits his time between Swansea and Manchester, saying most of his stuff has been made in Manchester. Doctor Who was obviously in Wales, but when we did years and years, everything else, was up in Manchester. Years and Years was the sign that Russell T Davies wasn't well, sadly. Reflecting on the years he lived in Manchester, queer, so it was made said of the city. I just love the place. I think it's beautiful. Speaking about the queer as folk effect on Manchester Canal Street, David said there's always an invasion of missing in with gay spaces. God, can you just not be so obsessed with gay spaces maybe for 10 minutes? It's part of our thinking. It's part of we're being invaded, we're being colonized, adopted into the mainstream, which we also want. I know you want it, Russell, right? But the mainstream is just saying, fuck off, we're not really interested. Right? Nobody hates gays. Well, I'm sure some people do. Most people don't hate gays. Most people like live and let live. But also people like their own culture. It's very hard. You want to live in an exclusive place. You want to be part. Do you want to live in an exclusive place, or do you want to be part of the world? You want both, right? You're a drama queen that wants both. The battle is forever. It shouldn't be, and it's going to be like that. And that's still going on. And life moves on, and a lot of younger gay life, younger queer life in Manchester has moved to the northern quarter, but Canal Street is still there. I'm actually spending a lot of time recently there because it's. I think it's about time I wrote about it again. Oh, right, you got some time in your hands, are you, Russell? Yeah. When pressed about whether there are some TV ideas percolating, Davis admitted, said, yeah, the world is getting madder and madder with trans rights, queer rights, gay rights, women rights. We all have that, like, again, we gave everybody equal rights, I'm sorry, in the 2000s. And people like you, Russell, well, it wasn't good enough. It's like we're all arguing each other when we should be arguing with the enemy. Who's the enemy? I mean, social media. We're spending a lot of time there just to get the temperature of the place and discover the same old place. The screenwriter producer is, of course, known for his Doctor Who, but also known for his work years and years. Very English Scandal and Nolly. Very English Scandal, I still think was his best thing. As of now, though, Davis's attention is very occupied with a long-running sci-fi series, which is gearing up for its Christmas special. It's been finished for months. Penned by Stephen Moffat, blah, 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 blah. Some suggest the world, don't care, fuck off. And look, again, as always, the biggest problem with any Shooty episode is, you guessed it, Shooty Gatwa. They bet the farm on him, right? They bet the farm on him, and they lost, right? It's I do not find him charming in any way, shape, or form. So, okay, so the problem I had with Boom, which is generally speaking Stephen Moffat's most, I think Shooty Gatwa's most popular episode, also written by Stephen Moffat, was when you really scrape down the plot, it's about burning down mythology to put a new one in its place, right? So we have the papal army, the Anglican army, whatever, some kind of like Christian religious army in Boom, right? And the Doctor's very vocal about how much he hates organized religion, right? And then later he's very positive about having faith and belief, right? But there are two qualitatively different types of faith. He didn't like the faith one has in organized traditional religion. He does like the faith that one has in themselves to like make their own, to make themselves their own religion, essentially, right? To make themselves the the cornerstone of reality, right? That's why we say that physical reality takes a backseat to whatever one believes that one's self-identification, right? And to oppose that, you're a bad person or an evil person, right? So that's what I didn't like about Boom, right? Again, it seemed to be a direct attack mainly on Christianity, but mostly on traditional organized religion. You could make the same argument about this episode, which is a lot lighter weight and dumber, I would say. Peter Rich said the first 10 minutes of Wallace and Gromit was better than the Doctor Who's better. Well, that's not hard, is it? Well, I feel bad about doing the stream right now because I'd much rather be watching Wallace and Gromit. I think, along with most people. Inspector 23 here, Fat Girl Magic. There was quite a bit of Fat Girl Magic. It's weird. I don't know how fat girls fit into the queer spectrum, but they're in there, right? They're in there. So the episode opens up with this thing we've seen, pumpkin latte and a cheese toasty. And the minute he walks in anywhere, shooting Gatwa, he doesn't strike me as a doctor in any way, shape, or form. I don't find him charming. He's got more of a gay, rapey vibe to him, right? That comes, and he really does. He really does. But I think I think when you pare it down again, what's the issue? It's the same issue of what went on with the war games, right? The war games in color is that, like, again, the question was, who's it for? It's not for fans. It's not for normies. It's like who's it? And it's for who Russell T Davies imagines is the new fan, who they very much want to be the new fan, like somebody who will be very good on whatever their awful fan show or whatever woke piece of shit they do. The Christy D, right? Just a bit more woke, right? That's the fan that they want, and that's the only fan. That's the only fan, that they're interested in, right? So I can think, I can see people not being. If you're in that universe, you won't find him incredibly excruciatingly annoying. But here, so I was saying, who is it for? Well, the question is why it was for that small group of fans, right? It was for that small group of people. But what's the real motivation behind it? And I think it's human beings have a need to give to the next generation, need to like pass something on to bridge the next generation, and that's essentially is built out from the human need to have children, like marry and reproduce, right? But once you have children, you're in a kind of eternal continuity because you have parents. And then your children, you pass one to the other, right? It gives you a continuity. If you're of the queer lifestyle that Russell Davies so deeply embraces, I'm not talking about gay people. It's totally different, right? Totally different. You don't have that, right? You don't have those generational relationships, those intimate generational relationships. Because generally speaking, you don't have children. Right, and I want to be clear. I have no problem with gay couples adopting. I don't know the data on it, but it seems they could be as good as anybody else. Like I would never really have a problem with that. But I think that's where it's coming from, to give something to the next generation, and because they don't have their own next generation to give people anything to. I think that's why there's all this push to make queerness like normal, even though it just isn't, right? It's like, and again, it doesn't make it bad. I'm Jewish. That's not normal. It's fine, right? It's fine. Well, at least to me it is. Anyway, you don't have to be in the majority all the time. Actually, the thing that really set the tone is while I was waiting for it to start, I was watching Christmas Quickly Come Dancing, and they had the different contestants. So let's remember. Let's look at the contestants for this year's Christmas Quickly Come Dancing. And they had Bob and Tara, whatever. And then they had the last couple, and it was a drag queen and another bloke. And I was like, they're obviously going to win, right? Obviously, it's the BBC. And lo and behold, obviously they won, right? And I saw a bit of their act, and they weren't that good, right? I don't know why people think putting a dress on, a wig and makeup makes you look like a chick. It really doesn't, right? That's the one thing this revolutionary drag has taught me. Putting a dress on and a wig and lipstick doesn't make you look like a woman. Even Nicola Coughlan, right? Even Nicola Coughlan looks more female. So that's the waters in which we're swimming before we even start. So anyway, we're in World War II, Manchester being bombed out, and there's guys in a hotel room, and it's like, oh, it's the end of everything. And again, it's all going great, right? It's all going great. And then in walks shooting Gatwa. Pumpkin latte and a ham and cheese toasty. And he's just annoying, right? He's not charming, right? He's not like Tom Baker was somewhat disarming. He isn't at all. Like as soon as I see him, I'm like, army up, get me away. I'm scared of that, right? I'm scared of that. Fine. So he goes through a few doors. He's on the Orient Express, And then he goes in, he walks into Joy, who was just checked into a hotel room, all on her own. You get a feeling that there's something going on. Now, I'll say about 45 minutes into the episode, she delivers an emotional punch, which is just a gut punch because it's so fucking relatable, right? That was the emotional center of the whole episode. And hats off to her. And hats off to Stephen Moffat for writing it, right? That was really good. Just because it wasn't really concerning shooting gut work. So anyway, so then this is timey-wimey, right? I was like, well, you know, they don't really have Christmas special timey-wimey. No, this one's definitely timey-wimey because then it goes back in time a little bit and the Doctor's arriving in 42nd century London at a time hotel and he walks out and again, the humor would be better if there was good straight stuff as well. Not losing straight, but just good things, you know, it being straight. What's it? And but there isn't, right? There isn't. So he's wearing his dressing gown. It's got a paper under the arm. I think it's a timey-wimey or something like that. And he's he goes to the in the hotel. There's like a coffee tea station. And he goes to get milk, and he's getting milk for two people to make coffee with. And then he realizes that he's on his own, that he's not with them anymore. And thing is, he's not a good actor. He's not really able to emote this stuff effectively, right? I mean, he's just not able to emote this stuff effectively. I don't really believe him, right? That he's really mooning about Ruby Sunday being gone. But anyway, Davis Nancy 144 says, "Fat piggy puss, no thanks." Well, you know, it depends what you're into. I don't want to cast aspersions. No Millie Gibson, that's for sure, right? You're not getting you know, the youth of the day whacking off to Nicola Coughlan the way we were all like furtively spanking away to Nicola Bryant. And yes, I am of that generation. And yes, she was major masturbatory fantasy time, right? Absolutely. Which is what you really want from a Doctor Who companion. That and say, what, Doctor? And look good running up and down a corridor in hills, right? All these things are very important. But yeah, he's just bad casting. So anyway, they arrive at this time hotel so he can get some milk. And he meets the bloke who, jobbing character actor, I see him in a bunch of stuff. I quite like him. Apparently, the guy who does the what's it called again? Who got the what's it called again? The autographs of everybody. The Doctor Who production thing. Doctor Who production news who told everybody where the location was going on. He was saying how lovely everybody is, apart from that one guy, right? But it seems like a nice bloke to me, but I've never met him. Right. So he says, well, you can't take that. That's for patrons of the hotel. And as he's going there, there's a guy with a briefcase. What's the word? Handcuffed to him. And the Doctor goes back in the TARDIS and says, wait a minute, there's something weird about that, right? And again, if I could AI change this to Matt Smith, it'll be an okay episode. Right, because Matt Smith can act, right, and he realizes there's something weird going on with the guy with the suitcase. In the pre-title sequence, when he goes into Nicola Coughlan's room, there's a Silurian in there with that same suitcase. So he goes on a bit of a mission with the bloke from reception. Even my guy thought this guy the tall guy sounded like David Williams. Here, let me see if I look at the official Doctor Who Twitter account. Maybe they have a picture of him. I know they've got the what's it called again? They got the new the trailer which we'll look at. Well, Doctor Who Proms is look at that. Doctor Who Proms is trending, but not Doctor Who. That's pretty bad, right? That's pretty bad. Hang on. Let me see. Oh, here, this bloke. Hang on. There you go. There, this bloke, whatever his name is. I kind of like him in everything I see him in as well. So, so they work out something weird going on with that suitcase, and every time the suitcase gets near somebody else who has more access or privilege, then the suitcase, the handcuff comes off and goes onto that new person. So and then the person who did have it on like evaporates pretty soon thereafter. So that happens to this bloke, and then it ends up the hotel manager who is the Slurin we saw at the beginning, right? He ends up with a case, and then he ends up in Joy's room, right? And then it gets. So then the doctor's confronting him, and he realizes that there's somebody controlling them. If the suitcase is controlling them, and he's having this conversation about what's going on. And Joey says, "Wait a minute, don't I matter? It's my hotel room, right? What's going on?" Meanwhile, there's a woman that works at the hotel, I think Anita, and you don't. And she doesn't really notice the Silurian for some reason. I can't remember why. I might have nodded off, right? It was a little bit dull, right? That happened a few times, right? It's not like I was watching it where I could go back and rewatch it. Mark Lazarus here said, "Did Nicola get naked to scare everyone like she did in Britain?" Oh my God, did she? Oh, get up! I thought you were talking about Nicola Bryant. I never went from like high eroticism to a repulsion. Oh God, why would she get naked? Okay, let's look at a picture of that. That sounds horrible. Nicola Coughlan naked. I'm scared to look this up. Oh God, what am I going to see? Oh God, yeah, why? I can't show you that. Oh God, will I ever be able to unsee that? That's disgusting. Oh, why would you tell me that, Mark Lazarus? What the hell? You're going to scar me for fucking life. Why would she do that? I mean, she's not an attractive lady. I'm sorry. More so with your kit off. I don't want to tell you. Oh God. That's like, the opposite of a mince pie and Viagra. I want a wretch, and I don't think I'll ever have an erection again. Oh, my hair wasn't white; it would be now. Oh God. Oh, that was really awful. I'm not overplaying it. Don't Google that. You don't want to fucking know. Don't Google that. Why would she do that? Anyway, where was I? Fine. Oh, yeah. So they're in this hotel. that took me by surprise a little bit. So they're in this hotel, right? And, what's happened to my hat? Hang on. I'm going to fix it. There you go. Oh, that's better. So Nicola Coughlan takes the case, and it connects to her, right? And so now she's begun. They keep saying the star will rise and all flesh will fall, or something like whatever bollocks that is, right? And off she walks into each room in the hotel has a magic door that no one can ever open, and it connects up to the time hotel. So she goes through the time hotel. Then wait 1 second. The doctor decides to open the case. And by doing it, it's like it says you got like 20 seconds before Nicola Coughlan's going to die, and they got to close it, right? So, okay, we close it. And they close the case, and like with 1 second goes, they did, plenty of time. And then this panel pops up saying, now you need to enter in your 4-digit code to restart the case confinement, right? And he's like, well, how can I work that out? We only got 15 seconds. And then another shooting gatler walks in and tells them the code, and he said, "Well, how far are you in the future? You'll find out, right? You've seen this bit of the trailer, right? Where are you from? You'll find out." And it takes Nicola Coughlan, and they go out, and he closes the door, and boom, it's now trapped. He gets open again, but it's just a brick wall. He's now disconnected from Time Hotel. So I guess that's his TARDIS is stuck in the 40th century. All right. So then we have about a 20-minute sequence, I would say, of he's trapped in contemporary London for the year. And the woman who works at the hotel, Anita, he makes friends with, and he ends up staying in Nicola Coughlin's room for the year. And he becomes like a handyman around the hotel. But normally when you have a doctor who's trapped in one location, they rail against it. They hate every second of it. They can't stand it. This doctor loves it. It's fantastic. He's waiting for a time door to open it. He loves it. It's fantastic, right? Why? Because he's so ordinary. He's so normal, right? He's a gregarious gay bloke. 10 a fucking penny. It's not like there's nothing magical or interesting about him, right? He's just kind of a boring guy, but an irritating gay bloke is how I would describe him. So anyway, so he's forced to spend a year living in contemporary London, and at first he's very lonely. But he ends up making his friends with this woman Anita, and that was actually quite a good bit of it. Not whenever he's on set, because he's always smug and like smarmy and knows it all. And he's got to spend a year there to work out the code. But as Conor says, does the doctor actually find the code, or does he just get it from his future self? He just gets it from the future self, and it turns out there was no code. He kind of just invented it himself. And it really doesn't and they never explain it, and it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't really matter, right? Because Doctor Who's not a very clever show anymore. It's not a show for clever people. It used to be a show for clever people, and it just isn't, right? It just isn't. So this woman, Anita, she broke up with somebody or something, and she's thinking about getting, I don't know. So he's, and you have quite an emotional bit when he, when he for some reason he knows he's got to go to New York now to get to the next Time Hotel thing, right? Somehow it does. I can't remember why. Who cares? Essentially, so he goes there, and the time window opens up, and he goes through, and then he's back in the Time Hotel, and then he goes through another door. And he's back at the door he was in beforehand with Nicola Coughlan in a hotel room, and it says the code is 7492 or whatever, right? Traveler is swipe from the lodger, yeah, but he kind of like it wasn't that long that he was on Earth with the lodger, and he railed against it, and he had a battle with the Cybermen. This is what he had to do was fix, the microwave essentially, and made it big on the inside. So these little things would be cute if the Doctor was the Doctor. Right, if Capaldi did it, it'll be cute, right? In fact, yeah, this episode with the Capaldi Doctor would have been really great. I would have loved this one with Capaldi. I'll explain later, says Robbie Bonham. It's exactly an I'll explain later moment. Oh, it's so cringe, right? So now Shooty's back. Future Shooty is back with Nicola Coughlan, and she's controlled by the case again. So he starts being a real shit to her, right? And saying, I bet everybody laughs when they say you're joy. Look how lonely you are. Look how empty your hotel room is. You're just an empty, lonely person, right? And he was just being a real shit, right? And you get a feeling like he's trying to upset her or break the spell, but still, I don't know, would have been, it didn't really work, right? He just came over as nasty, right? He just came across as nasty, not as compassionate at all. So it's about this point. So they make it into the room where the dinosaur appears, right? And he talks about her mother, right? So I bet your mother's in battle, and she had this again. This is the emotional center of the whole episode, and it's very raw and very real, right? She talks about her mother, and her mother's dead. Her mother died during COVID. And because of all the stupid rules that were, enforced on us by people she trusted, right? And you can hear it's Stephen Moffat running against the Tory party, but what he should be running against is authoritarianism, right? So her mother died, and she only saw her through an iPad. And so essentially now she can't be alone on Christmas because and I actually teared up at this because this was really real because I had a friend of mine whose father died and they couldn't be with him because of fucking COVID. The fucking idiot COVID rules, right? Oh God, I remember my synagogue. The authoritarians, they got a hard on for COVID. They're like, oh yeah, rules. We'll put up plastic and we won't let anybody pray and stuff. Oh, it's one of the things that destroyed my synagogue. So sad. But she has this like breakdown. She says like, yeah, I'm sick of following the rules because I did that and I let my mother down. When she needed me the most, I let her down. I can't go home for Christmas ever again, right? That's why she goes to these crappy hotels. And I thought that was a really a real genuine kick in the gut. That's Steve, that's not attacking the tourists, that's attacking the WHO. I just hope he realizes it. I mean, they're so smart in so many ways, these writers, right? I mean, I love hearing them talk about Doctor Who, but like they're so dumb in so many ways as well. So anyway, so that breaks the control and the suitcase falls off her. And then we get the whole bit with the T-Rex trying to eat them. And you're wondering, well, where is this? There's a plot point that the thing inside the suitcase needs like millions of years to evolve to become this ultimate power source by the evil corporation. There is a funny bit in it saying, corporations, evil corporations, they got to put their logo on everything. And he uses his, I don't know, butt plug sonic screwdriver, and you get the Villain Guard logo comes up. And I look across the scene, there's a BBC logo. I said, yeah, evil corporations love their logos. I agree with you there, right? I agree with you there. So Labour would have gone even further with the lockdown, says Matthew Powder, especially for the Jews. They would have locked them down to special camps, let me tell you. Fine, where are we up to? So yeah, the dinosaur shows up and eats the suitcase, and the suitcase has in it like this superpowered star, and if anything happens to it, it's going to destroy everything, everywhere, all the time, for some reason. So what was next? The dinosaurs eating. Okay, so then you get quite a good action sequence where they got to find the temple in the current era where the suitcase was spat out by the dinosaur, right? So they find that through what I don't know again how, and they find that through one of the time hotel holes, and then to open up the tomb. That's the bit we saw on the trailer where he's on top of the Orient Express swinging a rope, and again that's really his best bit. But he's swinging a rope to into the time through the time hotel into the other room to pull open the massive stone door to get to the suitcase, right? So then they get to the suitcase and it's cooked. It's about to go critical. And Nicola Coughlan now is totally connected to it again, and she takes it, and where she go? I can't really remember, right? But essentially, she merges with the star, and she becomes this like glowy light in the sky forever, which I just think it worked better with Kylie Minogue when they did something like that. So then that star is outside of time, right? It appears everywhere. And you see back in 2000 when her mother's dying in hospital, the star then like sucks up her mother's life force or something. So they can be together forever. And And what happens next? Oh, and then you see it's the star that the three wise men followed in Bethlehem. Right, so that's where I go back to the beginning, where I went back to at the beginning, where I said that it's about tearing down current religion and mythology. I know it'll make your brain hurt. I know it was, but it's too much, right? It's too much. It's about tearing down like classic mythology and replacing it with a new one, right? The star wasn't a divine symbol brought by God to lead the three wise men to the Savior, which I don't particularly believe, being Jewish, right? But they wanted to tear that apart and denigrate it. And I just get for me, rather than being a nice segue into Christianity, I think it's more of a diss to it, right? And on Christmas Day as well, I don't know. I think it was ill-judged, right? Ill-judged. Now, also ill-judged is all the gay references all the way through it, right? About when he's staying for the year in a hotel, the woman that he becomes friends with, Anita, I think her name was. He says, well, you're not just assume she's gay because obviously he's gay because it's Shooting Gatwa. And Shooting Gatwa isn't a good actor. He can only play gay. He can literally only play gay. So there you go. And then, and she says, Doctor, you have to before she turns into a star, she tells the doctor that everything she said to her about being lonely with an empty life, and she's living in this. You can see from a hotel room which is so empty. That's a reflection of her. He said, "Well, that's actually a reflection of you. You lived there for a year, right? You've got to be friends with someone, right? You've got to make friends with someone. You've got to connect with someone." And he says, "Yes, okay." And again, this is not. This would have worked better. With a Capaldi doctor who, is much more prickly and doesn't connect with people. So anyway, then the fat chip becomes a massive fat star burning in the sky. And I think, that's really where it ends. Doesn't it get our own Sonic in this special? Sonic spatula? I don't know. It was... I'm more intrigued to see what the normie thinks of this, right? Again, this for me is not Doctor Who. Right, it's really, really, really not Doctor Who. Mainly because Shooting Gatwa is not Doctor Who. So, what's worse, this or War Games in Color? Well, the War Games in Color you can say a lot of good about because it's because of the quality of the coloring, right? Which was absolutely stunning. Right, this I don't know. Oh, we got here. Let me grab some images from the next season that they'll be looking at in a second. Oh man, Ruby's got a weird new haircut. Let's go. Doink. Vrada see-through looks good. Now we'll look at her in a second. There you go. Doink. But you do get such a feeling that it was such an important point for Shuti and Varada not to be white people, right? You get a feeling that was like the most important thing for them in the world. Which, and again, I thought Varada in Boom was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I thought she was very, very good in that. Yeah, one second, where the images? Go here. Doink. I think I'm missing one. I got 3 here. Hang on. Got that one. Oh, here's the one. Yeah, the other one I'm missing. Now I found it. Where am I? Go here. Doink. There you go. I lost it. Oh, here we go. Doink. Fine. So let me grab the trailer and we'll look at the. There we go. Oh, yeah. We'll look at the trailer. It's like 20 seconds long. Looks fabulous. The trailer looks really, really, really good. But look, this is almost certainly the final season of Doctor Who for the foreseeable future, right? And it's a bit sad because when we had season 26 being the final season for the foreseeable future, it's actually quite good. Save video as trailer. Doink. Fine, so let's look at the teaser trailer for next year. Doink. Present video file. It's only 20 seconds long.
There are forces beyond this universe.
So what is it? I mean, that's just a good effect shot, right? Do you think that's Skaro? No. I mean, it should be Skaro, but like, no, it's some generic planet. Brother Thifu.
So the game to them.
Doctor, you need to get me home.
This might be the long way round.
But the games are deadly.
Yeah, that looks cool. That does look cool.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, again, it's too much of the Doctor not knowing what's going on and preening himself in the mirror. Yeah. I don't know. Did nothing for me whatsoever, to be frank. I don't know. I think the cinematography was kind of good. So here, let's look at this on the still snap. Shooter's got a new outfit, which is all he really cares about. Look at me, and it's a fucking dress. See, that's what they should be wearing. You wearing a fucking dress? What the fuck? Yeah, stop with this bullshit. Like, just stop with the bullshit. Right, right there is why I've checked the fuck out. Why is Doctor Who wearing a fucking skirt and his companion, who probably has a nice pair of legs, wearing a pair of mum pants? Fuck you. Oh, God. Fuck you. Why? Just why? And again, rather see that I thought she was great in Boom. But yeah, again, this is what I other than the reservation I had. And we got Ruby Sunday's got a really weird haircut. And Kate Lesbian Stewart is just really boring, right? So, and the other bloke is like the most nondescript unit soldier of all time. Who do you think these people are in the background? I don't know. God, I couldn't be less excited for the war between the land and sea. Right? I genuinely couldn't be less excited about it. I'll tell you. And what's with the weird haircut they're giving her? That's just Bizarroville. Not quite as bizarre as Shooty wearing a fucking skirt and the companion wearing a pair of mum pants. Like, that just annoys the fuck out of me. Oh, God. And, yeah, that smile isn't like an innocent smile. Right? I'm sorry. Tom Baker's smile was beguiling. This isn't, right? And he remains the greatest problem with this era. The queerness. I mean, he's such a big problem. He's a bigger problem than the queerness of the era, and it's just relentlessly queer. Like the woman he meets on the train is writing a breakup letter to a girlfriend. Why is everybody gay? Always. I don't bloody know. But is it trending at all? Doctor, let's see what's trending. Nothing is like, no one gives a shit. It's unbelievable, right? It makes absolutely no cultural impact. I mean, that's just crazy, right? That is just crazy. Not trending, not even close to trending. Wow. Yeah, is there a explore for? Is there a think search maybe? No, isn't that a place where they show you the trends? Thought it's over here. Okay, let's have a look. 1 second. Stories for you. The teaser. Okay, the Doctor's season 2 teaser trailer. That's trending. But like, bloody hell, nothing else. Yeah, so I can't see this making any form of major cultural impact. It's number 5. It's Training with Joy to the World. I take it back. Okay, it's got up to number 5. Christmas is number 1. Gromit. NFL on Netflix. Merry Christmas. Elon Musk is telling everybody not to use hashtags anymore. I'm like, dude, I just learned how to use them. Right? I can't work out something. Now you got to train me not to use them. It's too difficult. Will you stop? I can't, baby. I can't. So there you go. That would be my instant review. Hey, Queen Charlotte, how you doing? I think the viewing figures will be lower than people expected. Do you think? Really? Again, with the lead-in of... it started 5 minutes late. But with the leading into Wallace and Gromit, I think it's got... I mean, like... If they don't get an audience with this placing, I'll say it's over. It's over anyway. It's over anyway. You know, it's over. You're going to get 8 more episodes than the war between them. There's 12 more episodes of this era to go. Thank fuck for that. I'm happy to see it go. I really am. Because look, this is just not the Doctor. It's TARDIS is shit. Everything is shit. Right? Everything genuinely is shit. So there's a bunch of other stuff I want to go over. But I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow night. Right? This was the instant review. I think we've reviewed it reasonably instantly. Don't bother. Don't bother. It's you just got to wade through too much shooting Gatwa, too much queerness, and too much erasure of traditional religious values and being replaced with something entirely new, right? So with that, I don't really like, in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I would. It's not as bad as Space Babies. Fine. You know what? Before we go, let's do a ranking of the Shooting Gatwa episodes. Right? It's a new document. Hang on. And then just so we can work out where this one goes. So the first one was Church on Ruby Road, which I'm probably going to put at the top. Church on Ruby Road. Fine, let me share the screen. And then the Turgid Space Babies was second. Let me pull up our episode guide. Doctor Who episode guide. I can't believe somebody told me that Nicola Collin got her tits out for Bridgerton. I was like, oh God, why? Never do that. God, why did I look? I want to vomit. Okay, Space Babies. Where was it? Next one was Devil's Cord. That's hard to say. What was worse, Space Babies or Devil's Cord? Space Babies was worse. Devil's Cord is pretty bad. Well, Space Babies was worse, right? Fine. So then episode 3 was Boom. So I'm going to put that above all of them. There we go. So we got that. Where'd it go? There you go. So Boom. And then 73 yards, I'm going to put over here, even though, make no bloody sense. But again, they don't care. It doesn't make any sense. It's Doctor Who doesn't need to make it. Dot and Bubble. Where's that going to go? I mean, it makes sense, which is a good thing. I think... Yeah, okay, got to go over here. Dot and Bubble. Then you got Rogue. That's way at the bottom. I just don't need to see Doctor Who tongue kissing a bloke, right? I just don't. And that's even if Doctor Who's a lady, right? I don't. Oh, Legend of Ruby Sunday, Empire of Death. Oh, fuck you. Letdown upon letdown. Legend of Ruby Sunday. Empire of Death. So where does Joy to the World fit in this? Okay, very high up, actually. Very high up. Joy to the World. So it's nearly the best of the Shooting Gatwa era, all of which is completely missable, all of which is, in my mind, cosplay Doctor Who, fan fiction, doesn't really matter whatsoever. You want good Doctor Who? Head over to Dr. Alex's channel. He's got several different options for you right now. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.